everybody, welcome back to where you know the culture is news. I don't know if you've heard by now or if you've watched the video, but Jada Pinkett Smith premiered her first web television talk show called Red Table Talk this past week. And the show is basically a forum where the perspectives of three different generations of women, which is herself, her daughter Willow, and her mom Adrienne Banfield Norris, come together to basically discuss a wide variety of topics that they share and discuss. Really, really good show. Well, for Jada Pinkett Smith's first episode, which was a really good one, she actually sat down for a one-on-one discussion with Will Smith's ex-wife, Sheree Fletcher, where they talked about the long road they traveled basically to get to the peaceful co-parenting unit that they have of co-mothering Will Smith's oldest son, Trey. In this episode, you will see Jada Pinkett Smith and Sheree have a raw and honest dialogue about how they basically have come to master a healthy co-parenting relationship for the betterment of their children. And Jada and Sheree both admit it wasn't always healthy and it didn't start off that way. For starters, Jada started dating Will Smith when he wasn't fully divorced from Sheree. So she admits out loud that she really didn't understand marriage. She didn't understand divorce. And she didn't understand that when you date someone who is not exactly with their spouse anymore, or soon to be ex-spouse anymore, that it does take some unwinding, to unwind a marriage, to unwind that relationship. And she says that she should have just fell back instead of coming into the picture and assuming, well, that relationship is over and I got this. Sheree speaks on how during the early stages of Will and Jada's relationship, she wasn't always nice to Jada, and even admits that at times she could just be downright rude and she didn't care. She says she just really wasn't open to Jada meeting her son. She really didn't think it was a good idea. And it sounds like it was just her trying to get used to the dynamic of co-parenting with Will and having Jada be in the picture at the same time. But what I love, as the two women laughed about so many moments and so many different exchanges that they've had over the years, the one thing that they did share that brought them together and what let their guards down was the fact that they shared love for Trey, and that the goal was to raise him and their children in a healthy, loving environment. And through that, they were able to work out their differences. And at this stage, after 20 plus years, they have developed such a mutual respect and deep admiration for each other. And Sheree even goes on to say that she could not have asked for a better bonus mom for her son Trey. And she thanks Jada for loving her baby. You guys, this is a really, really good interview to watch. I encourage anyone who is currently in a co-parenting, co-mothering, or co-father, blended family type relationship or situation to watch this episode. The primary reason why I feel as though women should watch this interview more than anyone is because it speaks to the baby mama stigma, label that society has stamped on single mothers raising children. It's a really ugly, dark label. And the reason I say that is because no matter what the circumstances are surrounding why that relationship ended, the baby mama is always looked at as the bitter, angry woman who is just an impossible person to deal with. She not only hates the new girlfriend, but she also doesn't want the child to see his or her father without certain conditions. And because of all of that, she is seen as a pariah to new relationships. And because of the stigma, many women who enter into relationships with men who have children by other women instantly go into defense mode, sometimes even before meeting the child's mother. She often even sees the mother of said child as an insignificant figure in the child's life. And that often confuses things and it causes a lot of tension. Most particularly if mom and dad don't get along with one another. Co-parenting just isn't easy at all, particularly in the early stages. Sometimes it never works out. It just, starts ugly and it remains ugly. And it's because what gets overlooked are the children, because the adults in the situations are usually more concerned with themselves and protecting their egos than they are the children involved. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me in this interview that Jada and Sheree both agreed on is that they both love Trey. And that is how they were able to work through their differences. It was the love they shared for that child. And I believe love for our children is always what gets forgotten in blended family situations. I know I've been there personally. And I that's why I said I really like this interview, and I suggest that everyone watch it, particularly women, because I believe that if all adults just take a step back and in the very least focus in on that love for the children, the mutual love that they share for the child or children, it would make the co-parenting relationship so much easier to deal with. It will actually mature you in a lot of ways as well. And it's not just baby mamas that, get the ugly stigma. It's baby daddies as well. In fact, I think they get the brunt of it more than anyone in society. That's why I say the stigma, the ugly label, it's really, really bad. And again, I believe that if the focus if everyone involved in the blended family situation would just focus on the mutual love for the child or children involved, it would just make things so much easier to deal with. And it's like I always say, things can easily go as planned if folks would only learn to adjust your expectations to your reality. And that's what it seems Will Smith and Jada and Sheree eventually did. They realized that they were responsible for the journey and that their love for their children is what made them contribute equally to the growth and development of Trey and his siblings. And to that, I say kudos to them. If you have about 10 or 15 minutes to spare, it's a really, really short interview. It's not very lengthy. Just head on over to Red Table Talk. The Facebook page is what it is. And just watch the interview really quickly. It has a really, really important message that I think all women and all parents can pull something from and learn something from. Let me know what you think in the comments of the interview, and let me know what you think of this video. And remember, kids are the happiest when they feel free to express their feelings and their love towards the parents and the people in their lives that they love so much. And providing the most effective family unit is the best way to that. That's just how one can successfully co-parent, in my opinion. So that's all I have for this episode. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys next report.